Hi everyone, Sarah here from the Paper Cut. I'm happy to join you at the One of a Kind event. I saw Brian was just given a few prizes, so hopefully you were a lucky prize winner. We are going to do our Magic Craftalong kit. So let me just start by saying about the product and stuff like that. There are two kits in there, but we're only going to probably get through one, and then it's the exact same method, and then you can do the other one kind of on your own time. So we're going to start with the gnome one. So you can pull that kit out. The other kit you can just leave in there. We'll start with the gnome. The other one though is this one, the moose one. So while you're pulling that out, I am just going to talk about the product for a minute because it'll take us the whole 25 minutes to get through this. So anyways, the product is our magic card kits. So we have one in an oval, which we're doing for the gnome. We have one in the rectangle, which you have the kit for the moose one. The oval one does have a matching large oval overlay, which we're using on the gnome one. You did get it in red, so you can stamp it if you'd like. So this is something that if you don't have stamps out with you and you want to stamp it, because I'm going to show you a few different samples, you can do that later because this can attach on last. So the other product that we're using, or that was pre-cut for you, is our magic slider die. So those are the products we're using. I'm going to show you what's in the kit. So if you pull out your gnome kit, what's in the kit is the die cut window, and then you also get half sheets of cardstock, which we pre-printed yours for you, and then you get acetate. In the kit you get 8.5 by 11 sheets of acetate. Now we already cut it and printed on it. Normally you would stamp this. If you're stamping it, you're going to stamp it with StazOn. But we did print it on an 8.5 by 11. So in our kits, you do get 8.5 by 11 because you can set them up and you can print it instead of stamp it. So we do have some new kits for you too. I just want to tell you about the new ones. So we have some new ones. They're called pre-print magic cards. So they're a set of 4. So you get the magic card window, the envelopes, you get the pre-printed half sheets, and you get the pre-printed acetate. They're similar to our almost done card kits, but you don't get all the extra layers, so you would embellish yourself, but you do get them started with the pre-prints. We have 5 different ones of those. They're under die cut cards and kits, and then die cut kits, or the easiest way to find them is just go pre-print in our search bar, and you'll find the new 5 kits, which it is the gnome one is one of them. The moose one is another. And then I forgot to bring the samples up of the other 3, but they are kind of fun. If you were in our magic card class earlier this year, there's 3 of them from that class. So we have the magic card, or the pre-print magic card kits that have 4 of the window, the printed half sheet, the printed acetate, your envelopes, and then you would decorate it yourself. So anyways, let's get started with our gnome kit. We're going to just start down on the table. So we're going to lower this. Okay. In your kit, well, first let's go to the overlay, and I'll show you that before I forget. So the overlay that I have on my sample is one stamped with white dots. So you can use a white ink and stamp just a white dot, or I'm just going to show you some other samples because you could do something like this. I just did a white squiggly. You could emboss it. So this one, I don't know if you can see the embossing on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. You can see I just used a white polka dot embossing.
Pat Grossman did that.
So you could emboss it. I did one with just a red ink. So red on red. Again, I don't know if you can see it that well.
Tip it this way a little bit. Yeah. You
So
can't.
anyway, let's see if you can
There,
get closer.
that's better.
There. So where I did just stamp it with a red ink, or I did a polka dot in a red ink.
There. That's
Okay.
good.
So, or maybe here, the embossing one closer up, you
Yeah,
could
that's
emboss
great.
that. Okay, so that's your overlay, or you could just use your plain red overlay and put that on the front. So, but I just wanted to give you some other options. So we have pull out this piece, which is our preprint, and then we have our acetate. Now our acetate, when we stamped our acetate, or we cut our acetate first into quarters, the oval is slightly different than the rectangle because it's a little bit narrower, and we did make it narrower to fit the oval window overlay. So that for the oval one, the only difference between the oval and the rectangle is cut at 4 inches instead of 4 1/4. We already did that for you, and then it's 5 1/2 tall. With stamping our image on our piece of paper, your directions in your kit say to cut off the top 1 inch, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. So I did stamp it kind of in the middle. I just wanted to make sure that when I lined up my image together, that my acetate was all the way on my cardstock. Okay, and if I do have words on there, which I do, I wanted to make sure my words fall underneath the acetate because we are going to end up trimming around this. So if I would have put my words off to this side, then they would be cut off. And I also did not want to stamp my image low here because once I line up my image, I need my acetate to all the way beyond the cardstock. That's why I stamped him, you know, kind of sort of in the middle, not exact. But that's why we have a bigger sheet of cardstock than acetate. So we're going to start. We put the adhesive on there for you. Now when you get them in the pre-print kit, they'll be cut to size. They won't have the adhesive on there. We did that just so we could get through this Craftalong today. So we are going to take the backing off of your adhesive, okay, and you are going to line it up. So go ahead and do it with me. You're going to line up your image. So you want to line up your image, and it's really hard to do upside down. So I might turn mine around. Nope, I can do it. Line up your image. Start always lining up your image starting at the bottom, because then by the time you get to the top and stick it down, it will be lined up. So again, take your backing off, line it up, whoops, line it up starting at the bottom before you actually stick your adhesive down. And you do need a scissors for this project too. Even though I did some of the taping, you need adhesive and scissors. Okay, so lined it up. Now we have our acetate stuck to our cardstock. Stuck at the very top, and then it's loose on the bottom. Now we're going to use our scissors, and we're going to cut around our acetate. We want to cut flush, so cut right alongside your acetate. And you're going to do that all the way around. When you're doing it at the top, you want to make sure to cut just flush with the top of the acetate. Your cardstock and your acetate will still be stuck together. So cut all the way around. So just let the edge of your scissors follow the edge of your acetate.
You're an awesome instructor, Sarah.
Thank you.
Kathleen.
So follow the edge of your acetate with your scissors. Or if you're a personal paper trimmer kind of gal, you could pull that out and do it. Just follow the edge of your acetate with your scissors or your personal paper trimmer. Okay, so now we have our acetate stuck to our cardstock. We do kind of have a kind of ugly tape line there, so we're going to cover that up. In your kit, you received 2 of these pieces, which was our Miri Sparkle, and it's cut with one of our dies. So I did cut the edge off of one of them. So you can either pre-cut it off like I did, and then you're going to attach it to the top edge, and you want to attach it again flush with that top edge, and then you'll cut off your sides. Or you can just attach it at the top and then follow on the back and cut it straight. So I just happened to pre-cut mine off because I didn't do such a good job die cutting this one. So you're going to take your little strip, put adhesive on it, and then you are going to attach it flush with the top edge. And my stopwatch just shut off, so I have no idea where I'm at for time, so I might have to restart that again. Or unlock my phone. So anyways, attach your decorative strip to that top edge. Make sure it's flush with the top of the acetate. Then you are going to use your circle. You're going to use your circle, which I've got 2 of them in this kit. You're going to put adhesive just on half. And this gets attached to the back. So make sure there's no tape hanging out, and attach that to the back. And I'll show you the back in just 1 minute. So see how it's attached to the back and it's sticking up. Now I put a little bit too much tape on. You can have it stick up a little bit higher than that. However, you don't want it to stick up too much higher because otherwise it won't fit in your envelope. See how that fits in your A6 envelope? So I could have raised that just a little bit, but I don't want to raise it too high. And you don't have to use a circle. You can use any shape that you want.
You've been on for 10 minutes.
Okay, so again, we have the strip at the top, the half circle attached to the back. So this is that piece. We can kind of just set this piece aside. Then we're going to move on to our die cut. You want to place this down, face down in front of you. This is your belly. So the T, it kind of makes a T with your belly. And you want the bumps up. So my bumps are up. Let me just bring another one over here that has, so you have scores all the way around, and you want your bumps up. Then in your kit, you were given one of these slider dies, okay? Originally I had said you cut off the top 1 inch of your cardstock, because in the original directions, there's a template for cutting out your slider die, your slider piece. So you take that top 1 inch and you just basically cut it into a tall capital I. There is a template in there so you could trace it. I just usually snip, snip, you know, and cut it. You were given ones that were pre-cut using our die. So you don't need the die. This is something you can hand cut, but we did use the die for cutting all of yours. But I'm going to show you how to wrap your paper loop around it. So when you cut this, if you hand cut it, you end up with a piece. I'm going to use yellow just so it is against the blue. So you take your extra piece of cardstock. Now you're not doing this because yours is already pre-done, but you're just making a paper loop. So you fold that over, and then you're going to just use a little bit of adhesive on the top of here. And again, yours is pre-done, and then I'm just folding that over. And this is making just a paper loop that slides up and down. But I'm telling you how to do it so when you're doing it at home, if you don't have the die, this is what you're going to do. Now this little paper loop, you want to allow extra room. So I see how I have extra room in there. You don't want it real tight because otherwise it won't slide up and down, especially if you have it narrower and wider. When you hit that wide stuff, it's going to get stuck. And also if you don't put it in your card totally straight. So you want extra space in there. So, but you guys have the already done ones, and we taped these for you, which you don't get them pre-cut and taped. In the pre-print magic card kits, you do get a template in there that you can cut out, or you can cut out and trace, or you can just do it on your own. So anyways, you have these pre-taped, and again, this is so we could get through our thing. You're going to take your adhesive off. Take your adhesive off the top and the bottom. Okay, and then you're going to stick them down. So you're going to stick them in the upper right-hand corner, and then it will attach, so flush with the top, stick it down, and it'll attach to the bottom. So upper right-hand corner, attach it, so it attaches at the top and the bottom, and your little slidey thing can freely move up and down. Okay, so I'm going to bring mine without my writing, but I'm going to use my blue one so then you can actually see it. But you have a white one. And you're going to attach that in the right-hand corner, flush to the top, It goes all the way down to the bottom and you attach it. And then I'm going to put my little stop thing all the way at the bottom. Now we're going to go back to our little pre-printed gnome acetate. You're going to hold it, and I want you to hold it separating your acetate from your cardstock with your forefinger. Then you are going to slide it from your belly. So this is your belly right here. You're going to slide it with the printed one, the colored one behind, and the black and white one on top. So you're looking at them upside down, and you're looking at them in just black and white. Slide it all the way down to the score, okay? When you get down to the score, stop. It might slide farther, but just stop when you get to the score. And then you see him upside down, because your belly's right here. You're going to fold him up. Now we have our little stop at the bottom. We're going to put tape on our stop. So I'm going to put tape right here. And you don't want any tape hanging around. You just want it on your stop, because then we're going to fold that in and it's going to approximately attach right there. So go ahead, and again, we separated it with our forefinger. We slid it onto the bottom part of the T of our magic card, right up to the score. Fold it up. We make sure this is centered left to right and put tape on our stop. It is called a stop because as this piece moves up and down, our stop moves up and down, and then it stops it from sliding out of the card. So I was just showing you what that is and how it works. So now we have tape on it, and it's centered at the bottom, and we're just going to fold it in, give it a good push, turn it over, and then you can pull it up and make sure he works. Yep, he works. Yay! Almost done. Now we're going to close it up. Once you make sure he works, we're only going to put tape right here. Do not put tape right here or right here. If you do, the tape right here is going to stick to the back of your card. And then you're going to stick your card shut, and then we might have tears. And we don't want any tears, okay? So you're just going to put tape on this one edge. So just tape on your one edge, and then you're going to fold that in. And then yay, your magic card works. So now, a couple things for finishing your card. We have the overlay, which I had a pre-stamped one here minutes ago that I showed you. So you're going to attach your overlay. If you have it stamped, embossed, or whatever you did, or if you have a really spectacular idea and you just want to wait to put your overlay on later, you can do that. But I'm going to just stick my overlay on so I can show you one other thing. When you are attaching pieces, so say I'm going to put this guy on there, and I do need to trim him up a little bit. I don't want to attach anything to the acetate. So whenever I attach something, like a strip of paper, if I'm attaching a strip, I always use foam tape, just because when you're pulling it up and down, if this piece ends up bending in, it could get caught on your acetate. So I always do raise it up a little bit, but very, very important, only put foam tape on your end or down at the bottom, that is not going to stick to your acetate. Anything that overlaps your acetate in here, you cannot put any adhesive on. If you put adhesive, like right here, and you stick it, it's going to tape your card shut. Again, not a good thing. So you want to just put foam tape on the very ends or on the very bottom, or wherever it doesn't intersect with your acetate. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So again, remember to only put your acetate on the ends or on the bottom where it's not going to interfere with your acetate sliding up and down. Now you do have a little word piece. It is big, so you are going to trim it. I'm going to trust you to hand trim it, or if you wanted to punch it out, or whatever you want to do with it, or if you don't want to use it, it's your project. You're just gonna hand trim it though and attach it right on there. And then that is your oval window magic card. I'm gonna talk just a little bit about the rectangle one. And you can pop that up if you want to, but I have a few minutes left, actually about 5. So we won't get all the way through this magic card, but I just do want to talk about it a little bit. When I stamped, so again, this is another preprint. You do not get this stamped. I mean, you have it stamped in your kit because we stamped all those, but you do not get it stamped in your kit. You get the blank one, plus you get the printed image, plus you get the acetate and the envelopes, but you don't get this piece pre-stamped. Now the rectangle one, oh, I think we have a question.
Yeah, Nancy Finnerty would like to see the taping again. Please repeat the taping.
The taping of the, okay, I can do this one really quick. You guys probably won't be able to keep up with me, but I can show really quick how to do this one. So I just want to talk, the one thing is when you're doing the a background on here, do not fold this up. You don't want to get any ink right here because that you're going to see through your acetate. So always, if you want your back nice and clean, this part folds up, but these are the back. So if you want them nice and clean, like I masked yours off, so if you're a clean girl, you want to mask those off, and I do use 4x6 Post-it notes a lot. But let me go through really quick and do a triple time magic card so you can see that. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to talk about a couple things. We do have a show special today. It's the word craft, C-R-A-F-T. With a $50 purchase, you will get our next Craftalong, which is for October 17th, free. So with a $50 purchase, and that does exclude class kits. So the $50, anything that you get from that class page does not count towards the $50.
Did you give the dimensions of those cards or pieces?
I don't think I gave you the dimensions. The oval window card folds to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The A6 one, which is the rectangle one, is 4 1/2 by 5 1/2. It's a little bit wider. But let me show Nancy how we're gonna do the final assembly, because I'm assuming that's what you're looking for. So we attach our slider piece on the top edge to the right, and then it falls down to the bottom. We move our little slidey thing to the bottom. Now, you do have a piece in here to add. It's a red piece in your kit to add along the top. I didn't add it because I'm going fast. You're going to separate your cardstock from your acetate, slide it up only to that score, fold it up, then you're going to take your adhesive backing off.
Please repeat the code.
The code, C-R-A-F-T, and I will show you that Craftalong in a minute. So I made sure my stop was at the bottom. I attached it, and then I'm only putting tape down this side. So only tape right here, down this one side to close it up. Do not put tape at the top and the bottom to close that up. So there is our moose one done in double time. The Craftalong kit that you're going to get for free. So the code is CRAFT, C-R-A-F-T, with a $50 purchase. You get our next Craftalong, which is October 17th on this page. So it's our cascading card. So see how that cascades? So we'll go through and we'll do the cascading card. And then you'll also, I always do 2 cards. We usually only have time for 1, but I always do 2. These 2 coordinate. So then you'll get the slimline card. And this is using our blue lava stock. Miri lava. Blue Miri lava. So anyways, that's our cascading card kit. And this is my next Craftalong, which you'll get free with a $50 purchase, excluding class kits. and that special goes through till Wednesday. So anyways, I think I am almost up for time. But again, remember, we have our new pre-printed ones that you get the pre-printed acetate and the pre-printed colored other image, matching image. The moose, the gnome. I think there's some monsters on there. There's some poppies. And, oh, there's the chicken coop. So, anyways, that is our magic card Craftalong. I will be answering questions after if you had them, because this was a little bit of a whirlwind. Oh, let me point out one thing, and then I do have to get off of here. You are going to trim your 'Tis the Season also, and there is a piece of red cardstock in there to attach it. And when I attached my 'Tis the Season on my red piece of cardstock, I made sure to only use foam tape in the corner or on the side where it's not attaching to the acetate. Oops, there is a piece of green goes down there. So when you're attaching this, you only want to make sure to put foam tape on the bottom and on the side. You do not want to put foam tape behind the whole thing because you don't want to stick it to the acetate. So that is our craft along for the day. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in 2 weeks to do our out of this world cascading card kit. See you later. Have fun today. Bye.